Hey, folks. I hope you can all hear me. I think so. Maybe you can hear the barking dog in the background. That's not mine. Oh, I forgot something here. Okay. There we go. Now we're ready. I hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. I hope you're going to enjoy this episode. I'm going to be making a little video. I've just decided I'm going to do it after this is over. It's going to be a little bit of a bitch session, just about 5 minutes. So be watching that. Watch that to get posted too, because anyway, has nothing to do with cigars or spirits or politics. So there you go. It has to do with sports, but we'll get to that. Anyway, I know that's not what you're here for right now. You are here to hear about this wonderful pairing that I have going on today. And it is a wonderful pairing. I am throwing together Four Roses small batch. As you can tell, I have been sampling it. And I am pairing that with a crowned heads, that all the way in both cameras there, 4 kicks. I think it's going to be a great show. So just hang on, because we're gonna get right into it. Today's Sip and Smoke is all about balance meeting evolution, where fruit forward bourbon kind of collides with cigar that builds in complexity with every draw. Four Roses small batch brings that signature spice and bright orchard kind of sweetness, while the crowned heads 4 kicks lays down a creamy cedar driven kind of foundation that deepens as it continues to burn. What starts smooth and inviting quickly turns into a layered conversation of spice, oak, and subtle sweetness. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? This is the kind of pairing that doesn't just work, it unfolds. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Four Roses, small batch. The Mashbill is a blend of 2 of their recipes, which stay, like closely guarded secrets. But we do know that it is a blend of OBSK and OESK. Now, I don't have the particulars sitting right here in front of me, because they have quite a few different blends. When you can go in and buy a Four Roses single barrel, and a lot of those, it will have right here, it will have a band, or there nearabouts, it will have a band that will say OBSK or OESK. And that's the different blend, that's the different mash bill that makes up that single barrel. Well, they're taking 2 of those and putting them together in this small batch. So it is a high rye content, which will have a signature spice kind of background to it. Still trying to get YouTube to work for me here, and it's not doing too well. But we're just going to keep rolling, because I think everything's working right. It's people give me a thumbs up, let me know it's all working. So that's all you got to do. Just mash the heart button or a thumbs up or whatever. I love Four Roses. I really do. All of them. On the nose, there's really no real ethanol burn at all. This is a 45% alcohol by volume, so 90 proof. I get some really bright red fruit like cherries and raspberries. There's a light layer of caramel and honey, and then it also has some floral notes with just a hint of baking spice in there. Now on the palate. So good. Get in my mouth. So good. You get this very nice silky mouthfeel with bright orchard fruit with a nice caramel sweetness. There's some cinnamon and nutmeg kind of going on around in there. There's also I try to keep from using very and really so much, but there is a wonderful oak layer in there as well that is specifically distinctive. As the sip was passing across my tongue, It's like oak. And then you've got a medium finish with some lingering spices and a nice soft vanilla. What else could you ask for? I mean, that's wonderful. I'm gonna try another sip. That's just as good as the first. Now, crowned heads, 4 kicks. This is, as I said, it is a crowned heads. It is medium brown, kind of candy bar brown. The filler is a mixture of Dominican Republic and Nicaraguan longleaf tobaccos with a Nicaraguan binder and a Ecuadorian Habano wrapper. The Ecuadorian Habano wrapper adds a nice kind of creamy, cedary sweetness that really rounds the blend while it subtly amplifies the spice. The construction is pretty much impeccable. There's a few, I'll hold it up to each camera so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Moderate veins or pronounced veins, but overall it's kind of moderate to medium veining, tight yet visible seams, and a wonderful double cap. On the nose, I can't believe they're starting this right now. Literally starting this fucking shit right now. Every time I come out here. I hope it does not tear down the quality of my product. But anyway, on the nose, I get cedar, hay, kind of a light natural sweetness. Sorry, as I'm trying to kind of keep the microphones from being corrupted with all that noise. I don't know if you can hear it, but I sure can. There's a nice subtle earthiness to it with a faint pepper note. Let's go ahead and give it a cut. I may have a 5 minute bitch session video about this because it's every time I come out here. All of a sudden, everybody wants to come out and do yard work. That's a wonderful V cut. On the cold draw, it's a nice, easy draw. I get notes of raisin, dried fruit, kind of a dried fruit sweetness. It's a little bready. You pick up some notes of like graham cracker, and then there's just a touch of spice on your lips, and it kind of has the texture of like the old paper sacks, the old grocery bags. Yeah. Sorry, pissing me off. Try to have a professional operation and nothing works for me. Needed to smoke and a drink now. That's for damn sure. It's cedar forward, a nice creamy texture. You get some light notes of white pepper on the retrohale, and there's a light kind of subtly sweetness to it of maybe graham crackers and honey. It's a really good cigar. Now hopefully you can hear me now. Yeah. The bourbon's fruity notes just immediately brighten the entire profile. The caramel and the cedar kind of create a smooth, almost like desserty like combination, and the like floral notes that are in there kind of add lift and a little bit of elegance to it. So it's balanced, it's inviting. I dare say, approachable right out of the gate. Oh, I mean, the smoke coming off this thing is wonderful. It's a wonderful volume, and it also has that kind of hang to it. Love that. So I didn't want to cut trees down today. They do just work together extremely well. One doesn't overpower the other. The flavor profiles and the combinations just kind of work together effortlessly. It it's got spice, but it's also got sweetness. It's not tremendous in either one. And I think that would lend this particular pairing so far to be pretty universal. You know, anybody could like it, whether you are a cigar purist and only like spicy cigars, you're a bourbon purist and only like the caramel and vanilla and uh, uh, caramel, oak. Sorry, I forgot my trees there for a minute. And so this gives you enough of the purist and just a sprinkle of everything else. And it really works well. Sorry, I'm watching Manchester and Breitling, I guess. I don't know. It's European football. It's like the only thing on. There was women's softball on. I didn't really want to watch that. There was surfing on. I didn't really want to watch that. Uh, so this was kind of the other choice. I'm like, this is a Saturday afternoon in May. There ain't no baseball games on. This is one of the things I'm going to be bitching about after this is over. As you can see, there's a great volume of smoke coming off that stick, and it is effortless to get it. Amazing, amazing. And the Four Roses at 90 proof, it's got enough oomph to it to make it something that even the purists that prefer the bottled and bond or above could enjoy. Uh, while at the same time, it's not overpowering. And somebody that's fairly new to the whiskey world or cigar and whiskey world, it's still approachable enough for them to get into it without it being too much. There's I've got some bottles in there that are over 120, 120 proof, 128 proof. That's pretty hefty. If you're new into the whiskey world, don't start there, Magwai. Listen to Sensei. Start with training wheels and work up. So there you go. Adjust my cameras just a little bit. There we go. Hey, somebody joining. Glad to see you. I try to I try to hit everybody with a wave as soon as I see them. I appreciate you being here. Uh, it's a Saturday afternoon. You could be doing a lot of things, but you're here with me. I've never figured out if I'm actually on or not. I'm assuming I am. Uh, I know I am on Instagram. I'll go over here on X and see. Hey, Cristiano. Oh, hey, I want to need to like that and share it. Got to keep my. There we are. Look at there. There I am. Let me turn the volume up just a sec. Yep, I can hear it. Yep, I can hear it. All right, we're running on all cylinders for sure. It's going to be a great day, Tater. Manchester scores. my wife loved what's the soccer series, not Wrexham. Anyway, and she's like, "You never would watch that with me," and I'm like, "I did watch it with you." She said, "You didn't watch it like I watched it." I'm like, "Well, I don't watch anything like you watch it. I'm playing on my phone. I'm doing other things. I'm just kind of halfway watching what's on TV, and that's why I can watch sports or Bigfoot shows or ghost shows. I don't have to be like into it and know everything that happens." Because then they're gonna, like the Bigfoot and the ghost shows, they're gonna summarize it at the end anyway. So I'm just kind of passively watching while I'm making posts on X and Instagram and Facebook and all those places. Oh man, goalie was completely out of position on that one. He just watched it go by. Not that I could have done any better. I want to be watching my Bayern Munich Reds. I can't find that game on anywhere that I don't have to pay more for it. Now you kind of know what my bitching's going to be about. And you may, if you're new to the show, you may notice that I blow smoke into the glass. Doesn't mean anything. It's just for me, the way I think about it is I've got the smoke in my mouth and I want to try and see how those flavors marry up with the flavors of the spirit. So I wait until the last moment to expel the smoke into the glass just before the whiskey or spirit, so I've done rums and tequilas and stuff too, touches my mouth. That way you see how those really blend together. You don't have one already fading away as you put the other in there. So, oh, I remember that guy. Yeah, I'm sure you're down. That goalie, Manchester's. Yeah, he broke one of Munich's players' legs last season. Bastard. Him too. Here's a little sports stuff while we're just sitting around here waiting on this to get the halfway mark. Um, a pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday, his first 10 pitches, his first 10 were like all over 102 miles an hour. He was throwing like 103.6. I mean, literally, the cover of the ball was on fire by the time it hit the catcher's glove. That was amazing. That kind of problem is probably 5 years, he's going to blow out an elbow and he'll never be the same. Maybe not even that long. Uh, yeah, if you watch pitchers, just the mechanics in slow motion from their pitching arm side, you're like, the human arm was not meant to get into that position, and that's why they end up blowing out the ligaments in their elbows and have Tommy John surgery where they take a ligament from somewhere else and replace the old one. And I mean, you can get back into some pretty good pitching shape, but I just, realistically, you're never going to be the same. But you got to respect them, and they can flat do some things with a ball that you just do not think are scientifically possible. You watch the movement on some of the balls going from the pitcher's hand to the catcher's mitt, and you're like, how in the world does it do that? It'll like, and then will actually rise as it gets closer to the pitcher's glove. It'll start going down, and then the momentum, the spin on the ball will cause it to come upward. Are these guys with these Barry Zito, and when he first started pitching, he had a curveball that looked like it was going to go into the stands when he would about halfway to the plate, but then he just curved right back in to the catcher's mitt. Guys just could not hit it early on. That is a wonderful, wonderful cigar. Let me tilt these just a hair. That way I can get it in both really great stacks. I mean, just like stacks of dimes sitting up there. This is a really good stick. It really is. Uh, for those that may have joined a little bit later, I am pairing Four Roses small batch with a Crowned Heads Four Kicks. The Four Roses, the small batch, is it's a blend of Four Roses, OBSK and OESK mash bills. It's a high rye content. That's kind of about all we know for sure. Um, it's got a really bright fruity nose on it with cherries and raspberries. There's some caramel and honey in there, some floral notes and a little bit of baking spice. It's got a wonderful mouthfeel that's silky. You get ripe orchard fruits and kind of a caramel sweetness, cinnamon, nutmeg, a nice oakiness there. And it's got a medium length finish with some lingering spices and a nice soft vanilla. If you're not drinking Four Roses, you probably should be. And if you think Four Roses sucks, well, maybe something's wrong with your taste buds because it's really good. It's really good. Um, the Crowned Heads Four Kicks. It has a Dominican Republic Nicaraguan filler, long leaf fillers, with a Nicaraguan binder and an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper. The Ecuadorian Habano, it adds a creamy kind of cedar sweetness to the palate, and it rounds off some of the subtly some of the uh, amplified spices that are there. Um, Excellent construction, excellent burn, as you can see, very straight. The ash has held firm so far. I'll tap it. There's no way I get down to the band like you see some of those guys do. I just can't do it. Uh, I don't know if I just shake too much or whatever, but anyway, it always falls in my lap. So I end up knocking tapping the ash off myself. Which, hey, sometimes you just got to tap the ash. That's just the way it is, right? I mean, that's the way I think. The nose on this cigar before we get off into things, and I have to list this as an explicit show anyway. But the nose gave us some really nice notes of hay, cedar, a light kind of natural sweetness. There's subtle earth with some faint pepper notes in there. The cold draw, we got raisins and dried fruits, sweetness with kind of bready, kind of graham crackery notes in there, along with some spice on the lips. Um, the initial palate was very cedar forward, that nice creamy texture that I talked about with the Ecuadorian Habano. It's got a light kind of white pepper on the retrohale. There's a nice subtle sweetness. Um, Again, graham crackers and kind of light honey together. They did a very good job together. The bourbon's fruit notes just kind of immediately brighten up the profile. Uh, the caramel and the cedar create this kind of like smooth, desserty kind of like combo. The floral notes from the bourbon kind of add a little bit of lift and elegance to the entire profile. It's balanced, inviting, approachable right from the very beginning. Now, let me puff on this before it goes out. I get to talking and forget. So you're all caught up, and we're getting close to the halfway mark. We'll be there in just a few minutes. Where are we at? Oh, we're 25, 23 minutes. Oh man, we're doing great. Doing great. What'd I tell you? Ooh. If you could see how close this came to going in the glass, it literally brushed off the side of the Glencairn. Told you, I am not steady enough. So it's all just going on the patio floor until the wind comes along. Is what it is. So now we're back to the beginning. I never keep an ash on a cigar very long just for that reason. I know it really helps, but after it gets maybe an inch or so down, I'll go ahead and tap it off because it's inevitably going to end up in my lap or on the table. So this Four Roses, it is an everyday kind of quality sipping bourbon. and affordable. Yeah, the single barrels, they'll run maybe $50, $60, but you can find them sub 50. And the small batch is right in there. But it's excellent whiskey for the money. Regular Four Roses, just the standard Four Roses, 20, maybe $25. And it's really good juice as well. Don't get me wrong. But when you're stepping up to the small batch or the single barrels, you're just getting more nuanced flavors as opposed to a general profile, right? Because most bourbons are going to carry sweetness from the corn. They're going to have that kind of caramel and vanilla in there and that kind of thing. That's where you get into the single barrels and the small batches where they can really dial in certain flavors, certain palate profiles that are just wonderful. Okay, I thought somebody scored. Somebody's mad about something. I would say we're getting close to the halfway mark. Let me give another few puffs here. Oh, he got tripped. That's what he was mad about. Yeah, I was mad about it too. He's like, well, you did not see. You did not see. He tripped. And the referee, like, no, I did not see. Play ball. That's just what happens sometimes. I'm not a big fan of all the replay and stuff like that, challenge flags and everything. Just let them get out there and mix it up. Well, there's games that have been decided by bad plays. That's just the way it is. You're not playing a computer game. You're playing a game for real life. That's part of it. Seeing some little bit of subtle changes in the cigar. So we're about halfway. I'll go ahead and give you the deets now. Because I know y'all think I'm just sitting here smoking and talking and I'm not paying attention. I am paying attention. As we've gotten closer to the halfway mark, uh, the cigar has the earthiness in it has started to build and become stronger, more prevalent. The baking spice and the white pepper has also intensified, while the creaminess has kind of tightened up into more of a more structured kind of profile. Um, First full stack of Starship V3. I'll have to go and look at that. I'm all into this whole space race thing. Us going and starting a scientific colony on the moon and on to Mars. And I'm crazy about that stuff. I love that. Elon's doing a great job. I mean, you may have your knocks against him or whatever, but this is one guy. You just tell him he can't do something. That's all you got to do. You just tell him he can't do it. You can't build, you can't mass produce a battery powered car that people will like. Okay. And he goes and does it. You are not going to be able to have internet satellite service completely worldwide. Okay. And he goes and does it. You are not going to be able to have rockets that you send capsules up and the rocket comes back down and lands itself. And the tower catches it on the way down. Okay. And he goes and does it. Just tell him he can't do something. If we want to end world hunger, just tell Elon he can't do it. He'll figure it out. He will. Don't tell him he can't do something unless you want him to do it. Okay. Back to where we were. Together, the rye spice. Again, if you remember, there's a rye spiciness in this profile in the Four Roses. It's a fly buzzing around here too. He's wanting to get in on the act. The rye spice from the bourbon kind of locks in with the cigar spice. The fruit notes have kind of receded, and that oak and kind of structured part of the profile kind of steps forward. It becomes much more like complex and layered. Um, and I think it's probably this could very well be. We'll see how the rest of the cigar goes. I mean, this could very well be the peak in the perfect alignment of spice and body. It's really good. I'm really enjoying. I'm very much enjoying this. This is a wonderful experience. Trying to come up with things other than very or I don't know. Anyway, very or really. That was the other word. I use those two words way too much. All right. I try not to keep you past about 35 minutes. We're at 31 right now. So I will go ahead and give you all the details of this how this pairing unfolded. Uh, as we got into the last half, the cigars palette got a more full body with charred oak and leather and a deeper earthiness. The pepper increases on the toward the finish. Together, the bourbon sweetness has really now kind of acted as more of a counterweight, so the cigar doesn't go too far off the other way. Um, so it's kind of balanced things out. The oak on oak kind of interplay adds depth without it being bitter. And together they have a long, warm, just kind of cohesive finish. Uh, the bourbon really smooths the edges without muting the intensity, which is good. On the profiles, hey, there's no wave. Hey, how you doing? Uh, the you have this kind of flavor bridge with caramel and cedar and baking spice. You have a contrasting element in kind of the bright fruitiness and the earth and leather. There's the evolution of bright and creamy to spiced and structured, and then ending up at kind of rich and bold. Uh, there is a consistent harmony across the entire experience. Um, my final verdict, I would give the Spirit a 8.6. I would give the Cigar an 8.8. I think together the pairing synergy is it actually punches above the individual numbers at about 9.2 out of 10. So very good. It is an extremely pleasing combination. The Four Roses small batch delivers that layered fruitiness and spice that tracks beautifully with the evolution of the Crowned Head Four Kicks cigar. The key difference maker is that wrapper-driven creaminess and cedar notes, and that creates kind of a constant flavor anchor from first light to final draw. It gives the pairing its kind of signature balance and repeatability. I think this is something everybody should give a shot. You should give it a try. Just give it a try. See what you think. I have become a fan of Crowned Head cigars. I've got probably about 6 different of their line, and so far I have not found one that I didn't like. So I hope you enjoyed this pairing as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, ring all the bells, blow all the whistles. Tell all your friends to go and check this guy out on Rumble, YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook. I am everywhere almost. I don't do TikTok. I don't do TikTok. Um, I just can't figure it out. I didn't figure out Snapchat either. I don't. My girls, they're both on Snapchat, so I have to be on there for the parental thing. But I can't figure nothing out on there, so I don't use it. So anyway, until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry and your stones cold, and have a great day.